Welcome back from the break. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX. Deepak, the accused involved in the Lamborghini car accident, has been given bail within hours. He has said that an error in the display of the car diverted his concentration and led to the crash. But the fact is that his car did ram into people on the road. 2 people were injured in the matter. The owner of the Lamborghini is a popular YouTuber, Mridul Tiwari, with 18.7 million followers. Being the owner of the vehicle which has been involved in the case, he's yet to face action as well. Look at these various hit and run cases from Noida to Vadodara. Rich brats show no fear of law. At the end of the day, of course, people are asking, why is the law not able to hold them accountable?
क्या भाई स्टंट ज्यादा सीख लिए स्टंट ज्यादा सीख लिए कितना आदमी मरा पता है मर गया इधर तो क्या देख उधर पुलिस को बुलाओ पहले पुलिस को बुलाओ भैया अभी तुम्हारा गाड़ी किसका लग गई अरे कुछ नहीं भैया पुलिस को बुलाओ भाग नहीं पा रहे अरे रेस तुम कितना अरे वैसे यहाँ पे रेस लेटर देते हुए आ रहे हो हल्का सा दिए हो मोडू ले तू ये पागल है साला अंदर करो सर मेरा कुछ नहीं है वो चला रहा था मोड़ ले अनदर राउंड अनदर राउंड क्या हुआ अनदर राउंड निकिता मेरी अंकल ओम नमः शिवाय
A 32-year-old marketing executive, Siddharth Sharma, was hit by a Mercedes driven by a man 4 days short of turning 18 in civil lines in April 2016. Subsequently, in the case that became famous as the Mercedes hit-and-run case, the man was tried as a juvenile. The family was given compensation 8 years later after losing their loved one. Joining us, in fact, is Shilpa Mittal, sister of Siddharth Sharma. Shilpa Mittal, appreciate you joining us on NewsX. So many years after, of course, the case involving your brother, and such cases continue unabated. I'm sure you, like all of us, wonder why.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. I think by now I've understood why. It's the law of the country which fails every citizen of this country. The problem is everybody knows that the law is so delayed and it's so handicapped, I would say, that you're never going to get justice. It's been 9 years. It's going to be 9 years on 4th of April now. And all I can say that you won't believe this, but we have all the evidences. Everybody has accepted what's happening, what's not happening, what happened. But I am yet to see the trial to start. My trial hasn't started. We are still, the courts are still deciding which section to put in. This is 8 years, and with all the footage and everything. So you can imagine the dilemma of the citizen of this country, that you won't get justice because the law is such. You don't get justice here. That is why people think that anything that they will do, they will get away, because people forget, they move on. The victims are going to live their lives the way, a victim is supposed to live, and they will be first victim of the incident, and then they'll be a victim of the system. So there is no justice, is why all these perpetrators are actually continuing to what they do, because they know they will get away with the motive. So I blame the law of the country. I'm sorry.
Yes. Now, if we talk about this latest Lamborghini case, obviously, thankfully, no one has died. But the fact is, because just two laborers are injured, he might just get away with a lenient, charge on him. Whereas it
Yeah.
could have been far worse, and that should also be taken into account, isn't it, Shilpamita?
I absolutely agree with you. The problem is, I want to ask the system again, it goes to the country and the governance of the country, that when you don't have the car speed limit more than 100 or 150 or 10 maybe, why do we have the cars? Why have they allowed all these cars which the speed limit is like 200 and odd figures? Like 300, for example. I don't even know what's the speed on those cars, but it's definitely more than 250 is what I know. Imagine where are they going to drive? They are going to do this, on the main roads. And to be very honest, we don't have those roads. We don't have great roads. So they are going to bump into things and they're going to blame the potholes, and then there'll be a vicious circles of blaming everybody, and then nobody will get convicted, but victim will go through it. Now, somebody in this case, the two, the helpers who have gotten hit, they have no other option. Now, what will they get? Maybe 10, 50,000 rupees, but the amount of money and time that they will be wasting and they'll be losing because they are daily wage workers. Who's going to compensate on that? And who's going to pay for all the trials, and who's going to leave the job and go to the courts? I have been spending 8 years in courts, and there is everything involved. There is financial, there is emotional, there is mental, there's physical. Everything is involved here. You don't get compensated for it. And just to be clear, on my case also, we haven't got the compensation yet. They have applied in High Court, so it's again in the limbo. So, as I said, the law is very good of this country. It is pro perpetrators, it's not for the
So
victims.
many years have passed since the case involving your brother Siddharth Sharma. Have you, as a
Yes.
family, got closure yet?
No, we are not even close to it. Not even close to it, I would say. And I am very sorry to say this, but I am seriously losing hope on the law and order of the country. And I think, the saying that goes in India that jiski lati uski bhais, that is what is happening. Whoever is powerful will always get away with it because the system is pro them. It is not pro victim. The whole system is pro perpetrators. It's for the criminals, it's not for the victim. That is the worst and the sad part that I've learned in past 8 years.
If we talk about this case again, the Lamborghini case from Noida, what we're learning is that the owner was a very popular and famous YouTuber. He has millions of followers. Now one wonders what kind of, teaching he was imparting to such followers by doing these acts. But the big question is, will he be made to pay the price? He wasn't driving. It was someone else who has now been arrested. Will he also be booked or at least held accountable?
See, there are two laws that I have understood so far. The one is the law that we understand as a common man and the common citizen who doesn't have daily interaction with the law, is that if you do something bad, which I call our middle class mentality, you do something bad, you will get the punishment for it. But when you go to the courts, it's very different. It's all about the words and the power game. So I don't think so. Coming back to your answer, I don't think so. Anything will happen. Maybe he'll get more followers now. That's all that's going to happen. It will be, any kind of publicity is a good publicity for people like them. So I don't think so anything is going to change. I'm very sorry. I
Okay.
hope it does. I've been hoping, but I don't think so.
Okay. Let me also, in fact, now quickly ask you then, Shilpa, about what kind of reforms would you hope for? As you're saying, you're losing faith in the system, but we have
Yes.
to look forward. We have to be hopeful.
Yes.
What reforms would you urge in the law?
I would firstly love if the government and the whole system uh, puts it under a timeline. Now, what happens is you have a timeline for the police, that is 60 days you have to file an FIR no matter what. But there is no timeline to the court, and the court cases keep running, and there is a meter down that you keep paying price for it. It's not free. Law is not free. You need money to fight a case. You need mental strength. You need everything to fight a case, and because it's been so prolonged, and I think it's going to take I don't know how many more years for me to get justice or even get closer to the justice. I think there should be a timeline. There should be a time frame that this is where you will get the justice in 1 year. This so and so cases type of cases has to be sorted. It can't be I can't be getting dates and dates and dates and dates. It's obviously going to let people lose hope, and obviously perpetrators are going to think that they are going to get away with it, because how much a victim can fight? You're already a victim of a situation. You can't be fighting every day. So I think that is one of the biggest thing I would like. And the implementation of the law.
Okay.
In every case, you will see the police has been knowing about all these people who have
Okay.
always been in the cases, but nothing they have done.
Okay. Shilpa Mittal, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on this story. Well, meanwhile, let's also tell you about another shocking incident that had come to light. A 23-year-old man was killed while his 16-year-old sister suffered serious injuries after a speeding car hit their two-wheeler in Mahim in 2022. According to the police, the deceased Moiz Ansari and his sister Naba Sheikh were heading towards South Mumbai on their bike when the car, allegedly being driven under the influence of alcohol, rammed into the scooter. The case was registered in Mahim police station. Two accused received bail immediately, while the one who was driving the car got bail in a year. Joining us is Javed Sheikh, father of the victim. Javed Sheikh, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been so many years since the case involving your child. Has anything changed?
Nothing has been changed. The law is taking so long that what man said, Shilpa Mittal said was very right, because you just lose hope for some time. You don't think that law is going to give justice to you. It's a long process of going to a court with dates and another dates. That's all.
Mr. Sheikh, have you got closure as a family in your case?
Closure, we are not even close to it.
Tell us why. Tell us in detail, why are you so far away from closure? What have been the setbacks in your case? Why has there been no justice meted out just yet?
No. These people, the thing is, in court, when you go there is no argument at all. You just get a date, 26th March, 27th January. That's all you hear from the court. Nothing has been, argued in the court right till now. It's been 3 years, last 30 March, it's been 3 years. And I've not been even asked why, what, where. No, nothing has been done.
Have you been given compensation yet?
No compensation at all. I've spent whatever I spent in the hospital is not given to me yet.
The accused are also out on bail, we are learning?
Yeah, they are out of bail and they are not even coming to court sometimes.
Right. Disappointing, of course, to hear all of this. But, what do you make of this latest Lamborghini case? The fact that even in this case, perhaps the driver might, be let off with a rather lenient sentence because, of no fatalities. That is something thankful that there were no fatalities. But still, don't you believe there should be a harsher sentence for him? Driving a Lamborghini, ran over two laborers. It could have been far worse.
Harsher is a very small word for them because they just are drunk and they go on killing people on the street and nothing has been done. They should not be given bail, first of all.
Reportedly, the car also was earned by an influencer. An influencer obviously influences people. What kind of influence was he doing by encouraging such behavior?
Influencer or not, you don't get to license to kill people.
Absolutely. Do you believe examples then should be made of such cases? And is it shocking that they are not?
I'm very much agreeing with ma'am what she said. There should be a time limit for the justice period. You just can't go on. People fighting for justice will die as well.
Yes. What kind of reforms would you urge, authorities, if they're hearing you today, to bring about?
First of all, our policing should be quick. When the time till police reach the spot of the accident, the evidence has already been washed off. In my case, the camera was not working where the accident happened, and it is on Mahim Junction. 3 cameras over there of traffic, all of them was not working.
Yes. What setbacks have you faced after that? Just detail some of them, so that obviously they are examples of, for people to hear and look at how reform is needed. Just tell us about the setbacks that you faced.
When my daughter was met with an accident, she was about to give her 12th SYGC exam. And she couldn't be, appear. She appeared for the exam in state of, mental. She was not mentally prepared for the exam, and she lost this thing the year that same year. And after that, she's, I have a lot of difficulties, sleep disorders, and she passed the 12th exam. Now she's studying, but she's not in the situation she was before.
Okay. Javed Sheikh, thank you very much for joining us, detailing, of course, your ordeal, and we hope that there will be some speedy justice given to you in your case as well. As you're saying, you're far from closure just yet. Anurag Kulsheshta, road safety expert and President Tracks, is joining us live. Anurag Kulsheshta, what do you make of this fresh case involving a Lamborghini in Noida? What is your first reaction to the action so far that the police has taken, and what more needs to be done?
Actually, there are a number of cases going on day by day, because we are not caring about the main reason. I'm having the sympathy with all the victim families. I also may be the part of that. There is a very single thing that driver has admitted. He was doing the test drive. Test drive means, in case of Lamborghini, that was a test drive for the speed, overall speed. People are saying it's maybe 200 or 250. So, but the thing is that, to be very frank, what type of justice we want? Like Shruti is mentioning, this judicial system is very much like whatever she is saying, is not responding properly. Number two, governments are not having the rules and regulations or the acts properly. In number of developed countries, these all the acts are handled through the criminal act, not the motor vehicle act, which is we are very lenient in case of motor vehicle act, because ultimately we have to get the justice as per the motor vehicle act, and it's saying go to the thana and get the bail immediately. So that is the system. So, and second thing, like in case of Shruti Mittal, his brother was there was no pedestrian facility. In the night, people were over speeding the cars, or the speeding the cars, and the number of vehicles are stopping at side, and he was running on the road, he was crossing the road, and while the accident has happened. So we don't have this pedestrian facility anywhere in India. Hardly only 0.1 or 0.01% roads are having the pedestrian facility. Number one, we don't have the system here of lane driving, which is increasing the patience, through which we can curb all the situation of over speedings, rash driving, negligent driving. We can curb up. That is a matter of the poor enforcement as well as our poor infrastructure. I'm sorry to say that in India, almost 98% of the road infrastructure is pro accident. On each and every road, if you are moving on a road as a pedestrian, hardly you will get the time to cross the road properly through the zebra crossings. Hardly you will get the place to move on the roads like footpaths. Somewhere they are broken, somewhere they are like no footpath, somewhere it's enclosed by someone. This is all about the system. If we really want the justice, we all have to come forward for the real causes behind it. Because today might be I am losing someone, but tomorrow there are thousands. We are losing 1,78,000 people every year, and doesn't matter this 1,78,000 means at least 5 lakhs another one who are permanently disabled every year. And just imagine if a disabled person is lying at the home, what will be the mental trauma and the social problems for that family? So ultimately, we have to think like our Mr. Gadkari. He has mentioned number of times why accidents are increasing, because our engineers are not focusing on the safer roads, safer pedestrian facility. We are governed by the Motor Vehicle Act, where there's no space for the pedestrian. So if there's no, because road network doesn't meant only the roads for the vehicles. So we are on such a stage of our road system. We are just providing roads and roads and roads for the movement of the vehicles. Where are others? Where are the motorcycles? Where are the cyclists? Where are the rickshaws? Where is the pedestrian maximum?
Absolutely. You know, hearing these cases, I think the big question is, would any pedestrian feel safe?
Yeah, no one. That's why I'm telling you, in Delhi, in Mumbai, in every city, hardly only there will be a 2% of zebra crossings where you can cross the roads. 98% zebra crossings are faulty. 98% of our pedestrian network is faulty. You can't move on the road as a pedestrian like on footpath. Even the new trend is going on in Delhi also, in nearby areas also. Like we are creating the footpaths of just 1 meter, and we are doing the plantation on that footpath, means not walkable for pedestrian. We are spending crores on that, but what are we doing? It's a normal simple line. Our engineers, they never knows about the fact.
Yes. Let me then
What is
ask
the
you the big
meaning of
question,
a
Anurag
zebra
Kusheshta.
crossing?
What kind of reforms are needed? What are the reforms that are needed? What changes do we need to do for road safety, for
Reforms
improved
like
road safety?
one act was there, this hit and run case, which is now in dustbin. That was the criminal act. First time this government has come out with that act, but huge opposition throughout India, and finally this is in a dustbin. And second thing, the next, provide the roads with footpath at least, with proper crossing facilities. It's a very basic fundamental. In Delhi, 50% pedestrians are dying, 50% motorcyclists. 50% in Delhi, no pedestrian facility. Hardly only 0.001% road network is having the pedestrian facility. Number two, motorcyclists. They are dying more in India, and in Delhi it's 50%. In 99% case in Delhi, we are selling substandard without ISI mark helmet to all our ladies, especially ladies, and it has been promoted by the police itself. Number of places, substandard helmet. As per the BIS Act, it's a punishable offense for 5-year jail terms and 3 to 5 lakhs punishment for the manufacturer and the seller. And unfortunately, this is our country where the buyer of the substandard helmet has to be penalized. I don't know if you are purchasing a fake medicine from the market. Why should you be penalized for that? But this is our law. The people who are buying this substandard helmet, they, these people have to be penalized. Not the sailors, not the buyers, or sorry, sailors and manufacturers. Hardly we have seen any action throughout India on substandard helmets. So if pedestrians are dying more, if these people are motorcyclists are dying more, first focus on these 2 points. There's no focus. You will see number of our netas moving on our roads without helmets every day. Caught red-handed. We are the crores or of followers for them. They will follow the same strategy. And second thing, pedestrian, of course. And third thing, I'm focusing on the infrastructure again and again. 98% infrastructure is faulty. Our engineers, they don't know the meaning of the zebra crossing. They don't know the meaning of the this footpaths. They don't know the meaning of the thousands of e-rickshaws, auto rickshaws. Where to give them the place if they don't have the proper designated place for halting? And the entire day, our enforcement agencies, they are just pulling these e-rickshaws and auto rickshaws
Yes.
throughout. That
No
is the
point
job
taken.
of.
Let's hope the authorities are hearing you. We've run out of time. My thanks to Anurag Kusheshta for joining us on NewsX. Let's slip into a short break on that note.